Welcome to this short executive knowledge lecture on Topic 8, Paper 3, covering overview of major overseas futures exchanges and clearinghouses. Now, there's not much to this, and I'll explain why in a moment. I'll emphasize some of the important points to help you understand the core material. A copy of the lecture notes you see in front of you can be downloaded from the Executive Knowledge website under Paper 3 Resources. And as ever, I strongly recommend that when you're studying this material, you use practice questions to help build up your short-term memory. And we have hundreds of practice questions on Examinator.online. The issue with Topic 8 at Paper 3, it is probably the only topic of all the SFC licensing exams that does not get examined. Now that may seem rather strange, and then you would ask the question, why on earth are we covering it? It has been. Many years ago, Topic 8 was always covered, and it was 1 or 2 questions. But I would say in the last 3 or 4 years, there has never been a question, Paper 3 on Topic 8. So if you want to, if you haven't got much time, the exam's coming up, to be perfectly frank, I would forget about Topic 8. However, if you want to just cover all bases, you never know, something may come up, then listen to the very few words I'm going to say. I'm not going to go into this in detail, simply because it's not regularly examined at all. So it's a bit like the trivial pursuits of futures exchanges around the world. If you are familiar with international futures transactions and arrangements, you should know a lot of this material. We look at international futures exchanges, the products, the international futures clearinghouses, principal differences in regulatory systems, and dealing in international futures markets. The international futures exchanges that we consider in Asia, we look at the Tokyo Financial Exchange, Japan Exchange Group, Korea Exchange, Singapore Exchange Derivatives Trading Limited, Taiwan Futures Exchange, China Financial Futures Exchange. Australia, the major exchanges, the Australian Exchange, ASX. In Europe, we have the Eurex Exchange and the London Metal Exchange. In the US, the CME Group. The products, well, we've listed under each exchange the major products that are traded on the futures markets. And that continues through Australia and Europe. Yep. And then we look at the United States, the CME Group, the products that are traded. International futures clearinghouses in Asia, in Australia, in Europe, in the United States. And then we look at the principal differences in regulatory systems. We look at who the regulators are, whether or not novation is used to clear trades in Asia, in Australia, in Europe, and in the United States. And then we finish with some points on dealing in international futures markets. So yes, Topic 8 is a bit of a non-event. If you want to be absolutely secure, if a question comes up, go through the material. Otherwise, I'm very skeptical. I don't think you're going to see a question in it. So you really are depending upon the first 7 topics, all of which will be examined. And the best way to prepare is to do as many practice questions as possible. Good luck with your studies for Paper 3.